So let's talk about President Trump now. Let's talk about his near-death experience, I guess you might want to call it, the assassination attempt, and how even he and those around him are looking at it as a miraculous event, something that, I mean, a razor-thin margin of error there between getting his ear shot and turning his head and him not even being here anymore. He realizes that. And I think, how do you think that's going to affect him? And I would just get your overall take on that fact. And now he thinks he's here for a purpose.
Well, first off, we're all here for a purpose, right? It's not just Trump was chosen by God to lead the free
Amen.
world the next 4 years. We all have roles to play that have been
Yes.
specifically and specially chosen by God. So let's not
Good
set
point.
Donald Trump ahead and above every other American who's just as important in God's eyes.
Good
But
point.
second off, I listened to his inaugural speech, and I found that it was a great speech. And what struck me was that as much as it was bold and decisive in spelling out his political agenda, it was actually very spiritual in tone. And he talked about, we are not going to lose our country, we're not going to lose our Constitution, we are not going to lose our God. And I think that perhaps that openness, that open expression of God, and he said several more references too that struck me as more spiritual and faith-filled than political. I think that probably is born, in part at least, to his recognition that he was saved by something greater than himself in order to fulfill a purpose. And he's had a lot of time between his administrations to think about how he's going to best carry forth a pro-America, America First agenda. And I think this time it comes around with a little bit maybe more humility on his part that, it's more than just politics. There's a spirit that drives America, and there's a spirit that drives him.
Isn't one of the things I was thrilled about in the first couple of days, getting us out, us meaning America, out of the World Economic Forum, out of the WEF? What are your thoughts on that? Because I remember in his first administration when he was making a speech in New York, I think to the UN, and he said, America will never be a globalist nation. And he already had a target on his back, but that he just created more enemies when he said that. So your thoughts on the executive order and the WEF?